Am I proud of being the world's most famous hacker? Um, it's a title that's kind of cool to have, but I had a lot of trials and tribulations to get to that point. A lot of bad things happened in my life, like for example, going to federal prison. So it's a title that was earned, but I took the hard road. When I was a federal fugitive, I was really concerned, obviously, about getting arrested. So what I did is I hacked into the cell phone company, one of the cell phone companies in Los Angeles, and through what we call metadata. Now, it's interesting because nowadays, with the revelations of Edward Snowden, he talked about metadata being very critical in the NSA's ability to track us and surveil us. And the NSA says, oh, it's only metadata, it doesn't mean anything. Well, let me tell you how I was able to use metadata to track the FBI in the 1990s, is I was able to hack into the cell phone company, and I was able to identify the phone numbers that belonged to the FBI white-collar crime squad in Los Angeles. And I was able to look at their phone, couldn't get the content of the call, but I could see who they called and who called them. So I was able to get a lot of intelligence. And then what I was able to do is through this device, I was able to program this device with all the FBI cell phone numbers of the people that were in charge of my investigation. It would start sending me pager alerts that the FBI cell phone's here, within a mile. So what I did that night is I took all my computer stuff, my floppy disks, my CDs, anything that's technology related, I put it at a friend's house, and then I went to Winchell's Donuts, and I got a big, I think it was a 24 box of donuts. I took a Sharpie and wrote FBI Donuts on the box. I put it in the refrigerator, and on a big Post-it note outside my refrigerator, you know the logo for Intel, it says Intel inside? I put FBI Donuts inside and stuck it on the refrigerator. And it just so happens, at 6 a.m. that morning, I wake up, and how I wake up is I hear somebody jiggling the door. The FBI knocks, they don't jiggle doors, and I go, who is it? Just instinctively, because I thought someone's trying to break in. FBI, open up, open up. And they're looking for anything electronic, a computer, a cell phone, and nothing's there. And as soon as one of the guy gets to the refrigerators, he goes, what the fuck? He's just pissed, right? Because they obviously I knew they were coming, so they were not happy. I was arrested, and I was in court, and I thought I was going home that day, and then this federal prosecutor tells the judge that we not only have to hold Mr. Mitnick without bail, but we have to make sure he can't get to a telephone. And I was like really paying attention at this point. And then the prosecutor starts telling the judge that if we let Mr. Mitnick near a telephone, he can dial up to NORAD, dial up the modem, whistle into the phone, and launch an ICBM. Facing 400 years in prison, I had nothing to lose. I ended up being held in federal prison without bail in solitary confinement for a year. People are the weakest link in security. People, not the technology. People are the weakest link in security. People, not the technology. So I'm living in Denver, Colorado. Incidentally, I'm not living under the name of Kevin Mitnick. I'm under the name of Eric Weiss. Why Eric Weiss? Because at the time I was a federal fugitive. I was hiding from the FBI, and my idol was Harry Houdini, and that's Harry Houdini's real name, so I thought I had a sense of humor. So I call directory assistance, I get the number to Motorola. I'm now talking to the vice president for research and development for all of Motorola Mobility. And I go, hey, this is Rick over in Arlington Heights, because I found out they had an Arlington Heights facility. I'm looking for the project manager of the micro attack. And the VP goes, oh, that's Pam. She works for me. Would you like her extension? I go, sure, give it to me. And he gives me the extension. So my next call is to Pam, but I don't get her. I get her outgoing greeting on her voicemail. And she told her callers that she just left on a 2-week vacation, the date she's returning, and if you need any help whatsoever, please call Alicia on extension blah, blah, blah. So of course my next call is to Alicia, and she answers the phone, and I go, hey Alicia, this is Rick over in Arlington Heights. Did Pam leave on vacation yet? Of course I already knew she had. And she goes, yes, and I go, well, before she left, She said that you could help me get a copy of the microtax source code. She said you would help me out. About 5 minutes later, she goes, oh, I found the source code. It's she gave me the release number, and she goes, but there's a problem. And she goes, Rick, she goes, I'm going to have to talk to my security manager about what you're asking me to do. I'll be right back. And I go, no, wait, because I didn't want her to talk to any security manager, right? Because obviously they'd figure out what's going on. And about 8 minutes later, she comes back on the line, and I'm nervous. I'm thinking they already hooked up a tape recorder, and that's going to be Exhibit A in a court case later. And she goes, Rick? And I go, uh-huh. And she goes, that IP address you gave me to do the file transfer is not inside Motorola's campus. It's outside. And because of that, I can't transfer the file because we need to use a special proxy server to do so, and I don't have an account. And I go, uh-huh, and I just go, all right, thank you very much. And she goes, wait, I have some great news for you. I go, what? She goes, my security manager gave me his personal username and password so I could log onto the proxy server to send you the file. Motorola had a bunch of technical security, but it only took me 15 minutes with a good gift of gab to get the crown jewels. So that's how that worked.
But you didn't sell it. It was curiosity.
No,
it was sport. It was excitement.
Trophy.